So, in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make one of these decorative trays, and they feature some different techniques from a box stitch to adding a liner, and also this stitch, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's quite neat to add also the compartments for these trays. So, as always, without any further ado, let's get to it, shall we? First, to prepare our main piece, I cut a piece of lining leather that is 0.6mm thick and spread our dispersion glue evenly all across the piece before we continue to add our main piece onto it and press everything down and leave it out to dry. Afterwards, I take my cutting knife and cut along the edges of our main piece so we have no leftover and we can start beveling and burnishing our piece. While we're already at beveling and burnishing, that's also exactly what we'll do for the top of the side pieces. And here I just use some belt straps that I have that are around 4mm wide for the side pieces. And generally for these side pieces you want to use leather that's as thick as possible because it makes the box stitches easier. So especially if you haven't done many box stitches before, it definitely helps the thicker the leather is to make sure your stitches are exactly going where they should be. And while I would usually just mark a stitch line and then use my stitching irons, here I would really recommend you to use the points indicated on the pattern because some of the points have a different width in stitch length to properly match the curvature of our side pieces. But once our main piece is prepared, we can start marking our sides. And here I don't punch through the leather, but rather I just indicate where we want to use our awl later on for our box stitch. So I just slightly tap on the leather. Now we can prepare for our gluer. So the first step I will do is I take my wing divider and set it to the width of our side pieces. And then I use that to mark a line on our main piece. And this will give us a line until where we want to scratch and glue our leather so that the glue leftovers won't be showing on the inside later on. But with that done, we can start adding contact cement to our pieces and put everything together before we start stitching everything up. Then to sew the side pieces, we want to take our item, put it on the side, and then take your awl on the punches that we marked earlier, and then put your awl on a roughly 45-degree angle and punch through so that it goes through our main piece and the side pieces. And you probably want to check where you end up and adjust your angle accordingly. And generally, if you've never done a box stitch before, I would definitely recommend this to try or practice it on some other pieces first until you get a feel for it. And once we've put in all the holes, we can just take our needles and sewing thread and use our saddle stitch as always to put our side pieces to the main body. And then we can follow up that with our middle piece. Once we finish the sides, we also want to add the middle piece, and here we will use a little bit different of a stitch. So you want to start by putting your thread through the middle piece and then go through the right and the left stitch line on the main piece. Pull the thread outside, make sure everything's tight, and then go back inside on the next row of stitches. And once that is done, you want to cross again through the middle piece, so from both sides, that basically your needles switch sides, and then go back outside through the row that you just came from. And from there, you can basically start just repeating all these steps all the way until the end, and then just add a backstitch or two to make sure everything is nice and tight. And after you finish that stitch line, you're good to go and your project's finished. So the only part missing is finding a nice home for your new piece and on to the next project. So as always, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you want to see more patterns, let me know what you would be interested in for seeing next time. And with that, I would say enjoy.